Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are playing Kuldotha Red once again, and this time we are playing against an Esper control deck. So let's see if we can get underway. So here's our opener. We have got 2 Terrarions, a Signal Pest, Memnite, Shrapnel Blast, and a War Marshal. Only 1 land, but I think we can probably function on that. I think we might be on the draw as well. No, perhaps not. No, okay, so we can lead off with Signal Pest into Memnite. Hopefully we can draw a land, and then we can play the War Marshal, and then we'll be able to deal quite a lot of damage with this Signal Pest. If not, we'll just start dropping Terrarions. Drawing to Goblin Guide, if the opponent just drops the Delta. Essentially going to be able to hit him for 4 on turn 2, which is nice. If we didn't draw a land. Feel a Hallowed Fountain off the top for our opponent, which goes into hand. Opponent cracks for a Godless Shrine and then pass. Which isn't ideal, but and after missing the land drop there on turn 2, so that is positive for us. Spellskite's a little annoying. It's going to make it a little bit harder to attack through this Goblin Guide, considerably less good with the Spellskite out, but going to be able to play Mog War Marshal and hopefully just attack past the Spellskite. So our opponent drops Tasker in, emptying out his graveyard. Get rid of this. And then passing back to us. I'm not going to pay the Echo for the War Marshal, as I would to, if possible, deal with this Tassiger straight away. So we could have either Shrapnel Blasted our Memnite or Signal Pest to get rid of the Tassiger, but as we drew another land, we can do the more preferable play, drop out Terrarion, and then Shrapnel Blast that away to kill off Tassiger. Drawing a card, we draw into Goblin Grenade, which is nice. And yeah, this is quite a useful play. Getting rid of Tassigers and things with your 5 damage spell. Pretty cool. Very useful. So we're going to be able to hit in for 2 here. By the Spellskite. Opponent pass the Signal Pest. Given he was going to do that, he probably should have done that pre-combat, so we only got him for 1 damage, but I guess it doesn't make a ton of difference. We get to pull another land out of our deck, which is quite interesting. Possibly liable to kill him, given that we can deal quite a lot of damage to him. We can deal 2 plus the 5, so we can deal like 7, which doesn't give him a lot of turns. We can actually deal considerably more than that actually as well if we go all out. So I think we're going to run out the Goblin Guide, and possibly the War Marshal as well here. Yeah, just getting an attack first. And it cracks. Mudris cuts the Goblin Guide. Still going to take 2 here, goes down to 8. I run out the Mog War Marshal. I'm going to Grenade here. He doesn't have any blue mana. I mean, problem with Grenade at the moment is that he's got the Spellskite out. But at least this way, he will redirect it to the Spellskite, but at least this way he's going to have to pay 2 life to do that. Also we get to sack the Mog War Marshal, so we get the token straight away to replace it. Number goes down to 6. Just means on board. Oh no, 1 short of lethal on board. Lethal on board after this Bitter Blossom. Makes a token. When Inquisitions gets rid of the Terrarion, which is fine. We draw a Chromatic Star, which we're just going to crack straight away. Playable. Draw just a land, unfortunately. Probably should have kept that in hand just for bluffing purposes, but doesn't make a great deal of difference. Our opponent concedes. It's going to take 4 this turn, down to 1, and then die to the Bitter Blossom. So that worked out pretty well for us. Go on to game 2. Draw here, bringing in Relic from the sideboard. Not sure exactly how good it is, but against Delve decks, usually because they can still delve despite you emptying their graveyard, but probably got Snapcaster in there. I believe he has Lingering Souls, although I don't think we saw it in that last game. So it's not a bad card to have in. His hand is a little bit lackluster, don't really have anything we particularly want to play on turn 1. Bushwhacker's better late game play, so I'm not sure if this was actually a very good keep on my part. Probably would have considered mulliganing this, given the chance again. But I suppose I was just quite keen to get a Relic out and see if we could sort of stimulate progress. We draw a War Marshal, which is going to work well with this Bushwhacker if we can stick it. Though with our opponent's open mana, that seems possibly a little bit doubtful. So that gets hit with a mana leak, unfortunately. Just a Monastery Mentor, which we're just going to be able to kill here, unfortunately. Because we have the Lightning Bolt. So we'll get rid of that. And just drop this Chromatic Star. Continue to exile stuff out of our opponent's graveyard to make it more difficult for him to spells. Inquisition takes Bushwhacker, unfortunately. So we're left with a lot of burn. Goblin Grenades with no goblins to sack, unfortunately. And our opponent's actually going to delve because we haven't got the mana up to empty his graveyard. So yeah, he gets the Tasker into play, which is a little frustrating. We drew into Chromatic Star. Oh no, we drew into a third Goblin Grenade. Crack the Star, see what we find. Find Goblin Guide, which we're just going to immediately use to grenade and kill this Tasker. And see if we can sort of move from there. At the very least, we've emptied the graveyard a little bit. Spell Select Guide comes down. We just got Signal Pest, and things aren't looking great. We haven't got to the fastest starts, which is probably part of keeping that fairly lackluster hand, to be honest. Fortunately, our opponent's not doing a great deal either, so we're just kind of sitting here. Could have rebirthed, second either the Signal Pest or the Relic, but I kind of preferred to wait for something, a sort of a better value play. Find a Star, which we're going to run out, and then we're going to try and rebirth. Spell Piss is the rebirth though, unfortunately, so don't get that. But we do draw into a Memnite, so that's another quick board, at least. So hopefully we'll be able to attack past this Signal Pest. Path makes that a little less likely though, unfortunately, getting rid of the Signal Pest. But at least we get another land out of our deck, I guess. Gonna Relic in response, don't want him to get a path off of that. And get to draw into another Signal Pest. And we have another Memnite, so our forces, but the opponent's got a reasonable own side of his board. Another path for the Signal Pest. It's a little unfortunate. Just going to trade here. I don't know whether that's necessarily a good idea, but we're taking more damage on the way back than we are going forward, so I figured we might as well trade there. Here I'm just going to kill off this Rift Bolt after attacking with the Memnites, even if he wanted to block. Getting that out of the way means we can potentially grenade. Seems good. Otherwise the Rift Bolt's really not doing a great deal for us. Going to Goblin Guide. Let's attack for 3. That's another Snapcaster. Snapcaster path, unfortunately. So with a lot of paths so far. And that still gets in for 1 as our opponent decides not to block. Inquisition takes the Goblin Grenade. We take 2. Draw to Chromatic Star, which is going to anything. Kind of Relic. We are We don't crack immediately. We've been tempted to crack. Looking back on it, the situation as it was. One plays a lingering souls and flashes it back immediately, so there's no time to empty the graveyard of the relic. So that puts it in a fairly bad position. Got 6 points of power on the board. Attack with the Snapcaster takes it down to 16. Going to look here, just spend the Rift Bolt. Hope we can find some more stuff, and then maybe we can hit the big Bushwhacker attack. So suspend. Just going to aim that at his face. We can go for the Bushwhacker, but our opponent Bushwhacker, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to use Grenade with it. If we were able to attack there, we might have been able to win. I think we'd hit him down to 5 there, and then could have grenaded for the win. But another path from our opponent this game, and flash them back as well. We draw Shrapnel Blast, which is close to being lethal, but not quite. And unfortunately, we don't draw another useful thing. But yeah, the game was actually still very close. If we'd drawn some goblins, or maybe landed a rebirth or something, then maybe we could have used these grenades to sort of finish him off, or the Shrapnel Blast. But yeah, tight game, but unfortunately we came out on the losing end, and after getting paths quite a lot. How many paths did you use? Oh, yeah, so you used 3 paths and flashed 1 back, I think. So yeah, not ideal for us overall, but still pretty close, I think. Still managed to stay our ground pretty nice. So this is our opener: Double Grenade, Bushwhacker, War Marshal, Chromatic Star, and a Shrapnel Blast. Not bad, but we definitely need a second land to get this really going. Not sure if we kept this. No, mulligan. I would have leaned toward mulligan in that hand. Didn't really do a whole lot with just the 1 land, so we're kind of hoping for a lot to get that drawn. This hand isn't a whole lot better, to be honest, but it does have a second land, so we might keep this, I guess. And Bolt can deal with a Monastery Mentor or something like that if he has it. We're just going to run out the star. Sorry, just had to sneeze there. So we draw into a Memnite, which is nice. I think we're just going to crack the star, play the Memnite, and then if we don't draw another creature off the top, then we'll probably go for the Bushwhacker and just get in for 4 here. Try and get in as much damage as early as possible. Draw into War Marshal though, which is too tempting, so we're just going to run that out. And the Bushwhacker will be really great with that, if we can get that going. And runs out a Bitter Blossom, which plays very much into our hands. Means I'm going to be able to use this Bushwhacker next turn and deal 8 damage to our opponent, and all the way down to 11. And then we've got 8 points of burn as well in our hand, so this life loss from Bitter Blossom will probably finish him off if our creatures don't. Not going to play the Echo here, definitely want to use the Bushwhacker. Bushwhacker will give the new token haste anyway. Rebirth off the top is not too exciting, but doesn't really matter. I feel like we're in a very good position here. Goes down to 10 off the Bitter Blossom token. Can't really afford to take pain off his lands here. We draw Goblin Guide, which I think we're just going to run out here. And leaks it, which is fine really. I mean, we've got a lot of options here. Probably just going to attack here with all our guys. Could have sacked the Memnite for the 3 more Goblin tokens, which may have been a good idea, because I think our opponent's going to block the Memnite here, knowing that that would leave us without an artifact. But I feel like we're in a good position either way really. We can hit for 3, put our opponent down to 7, and then grenade, put him down to 2, which I think is what we're going to do. Yeah, put the opponent down to 7, grenades, put him down to 2. So that leaves us with not a lot in the way of creatures left on the board, but I think it's worth the risk. He's going to go down to 1 here off the Bitter Blossom. We have a Lightning Bolt in hand, so I feel pretty solid about our position. And yeah, our opponent could see seeing the writing on the wall. He's either going to die next turn to an attack with my 2 creatures, or to the Lightning Bolt in hand, or just to his own Bitter Blossom. So yeah, worked out pretty well. This matchup went pretty nicely really against Esper Control. I suppose in game 2, even though we were a little bit slow, we still managed to hold our own and can get some nice unexpected wins, just because dealing 5 damage in one go is pretty nice. So yeah, actually liked how this matchup played out pretty well.